Folks, around 4 a.m. This morning, word came out 4 a.m. Eastern that Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. had passed away. In November, many of us went to Chicago to sit at his bedside because doctors were saying that his body was shutting down. But to their surprise, he kept going, got better, was released from the hospital about a week later. But this morning, it all came to an end. A consequential life. Someone born in South Carolina, poor, rises to the greatest heights in this country, runs for president twice, leads a civil rights organization, advisor, counselor to numerous presidents, world leaders. That's who this man was. For the next 3 hours, we're going to talk about who he was, what he meant to so many people in this country and in this world. Let's start with Congresswoman Maxine Waters of California. She's known Reverend Jackson for quite some time. Many people might remember the huge Stax concert rally that took place in Los Angeles at the Coliseum there. Congresswoman Waters, it is very difficult to sum up, to put this man's life in words.
It is very difficult, and despite the fact that we knew he was getting weaker, and we knew that perhaps the time was near, to have it announced today still is extraordinarily painful. Jesse Jackson was a national figure. He was an international figure. And, without a lot of people understanding it, we counted on him to keep the civil rights movement going and to protect the civil rights movement and all of the gains that had been made. And of course, he gave his life to all of this. He was articulate, he was brilliant, he was truly a leader that changed not only the Democratic Party, he changed America. He dared to run to be the president of the United States of America. And he was no joke. He did well in the primaries. I looked up some of the information today. He finished third in 1984 Democratic primary, but with a remarkable strong showing, taking 18% of all primary votes. 1988, he did even better, winning nearly 7 million votes in 11 contests and sweeping the South during the primary season. He won the South Carolina caucuses and the Super Tuesday states of Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Virginia. So he was serious. He was taken serious. For the first time, Black people had somebody that they believed in, truly believed in. They loved and worshiped and honored him so very much. And so his legacy is unmatched. And he was my dear friend. In 1984, I traveled on the road with him for 6 weeks straight. And boy, did I learn a lot. I learned a lot about strategy. I learned a lot about how the presidential campaigns were run. And of course, he inspired me. He motivated me. He taught me. And when I ran for office, I used many of the strategies that I had learned with Jesse Jackson. But it was a wonderful time in my life, as it was a wonderful time in so many lives. We did so many good things together. When the hurricane hit down in Louisiana, we went down there and we got on a bus with Cleo Fields. We picked up people on the street and we took them to sanctuaries and safe places, et cetera, et cetera. It's so much of my life was done in a way that I became who I am today because of Jesse Jackson. I loved him, I cherished him, and there's no one else like Jesse Jackson. Never, ever have lived as far as I'm concerned, or who has passed. Jesse Jackson was everything for me and really for this country.
Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Congresswoman from New York City, also joins us. And I don't think there's probably a member of the CBC, probably since its founding to present day, who he could not call at a moment's notice and get them on the phone. And he was known for calling the folk at any time of the night or the day when he felt like talking about public policy. including us
Yeah,
journalists.
absolutely. You're absolutely correct about that, Roland. And I feel where my sister, Representative Maxine Waters, is coming from. I've witnessed them together, and I know that there was a strong bond there. I'm expressing my condolences on behalf of the people of the Ninth District of New York, members of the Congressional Black Caucus, and the Clarke family, quite frankly, because Reverend Jackson and my mom were very close. I was able to sort of tag along, and I received the benefit of their relationship as a member of Congress. Uh, Jesse Jackson was larger than life for over close to 8 decades. He dedicated his life to his people, to public service, to this nation. And Representative Maxine Waters was correct. He is one of a kind. He is an icon. I think that we all owe him a debt of gratitude, every single American, for his sacrifice and that of his family. I really want to extend my condolences of serving with Jonathan, now a prominent member of the Congressional Black Caucus, have served previously with Jesse Jackson Jr., who was also a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, and Santia, his sister. The whole family has touched my life personally, and I have been there for Reverend as he went about serving so many people across this country. It's quite remarkable life that he has led, and I've been a beneficiary of all of his work, going back to the civil rights movement to the present day.
Congresswoman Waters, I think one of the things that bothered me is that we might be at events, we might be somewhere. Ben Crump is coming up soon, and I remember there was an awards event that was in Los Angeles, and Reverend Jackson was in the audience. And it was mentioned that he was here, he was there, and people applauded. And when I went up to get my award, I actually was pissed off. And this has happened a number of times because I did not like how he was received. And I think part of that is because Reverend was so ubiquitous in the lives of black people, and he was always somewhere that I think a lot of times we just took for granted when he was in our presence. And I said then, and I always said it, I said, no, we are going to properly clap, salute, stand up, and give him his flowers. I said, because he's earned that. But that goes to show you that he was just always somewhere. He could be talking to a mother in Alabama who had an issue, and you turn on the evening news, and he's sitting with the Pope at the Vatican. And so to be able to go literally anywhere, I said it that Reverend Jackson could show up to the Super Bowl, no credentials, and you look up and he on the field. And I mean that's and people. I don't think people really understand when this, and you saw it up close, when this man went places, how he was received by the people.
Well, I had an instance, somewhat what you described, with a particular event, and I won't say where it was now because I don't want to embarrass the people. But I was a little bit pissed off and upset that he was not received in the way that he should have been received, announced in the way that he should have been announced. However, what was so precious about him was the fact that you kind of alluded to, he could be with the Pope at 1 minute and with, a worker, a laborer, another minute. At one point in time, when I brought him to Los Angeles, we went to the public housing projects, and the young people there were thrilled with him. And they asked him to stay all night. And guess what? He did it. He stayed all night. And when you go to Nickerson Garden housing projects in Los Angeles, they will point to where Jesse Jackson slept, where Jesse Jackson stayed all night. Well, that's unusual for someone running for the presidency of the United States to be in a public housing project and being received that way. But He was a man of the people and for the people. And so, yes, he was honored by, kings and queens and, heads of governments all over the world. And you're right, somehow, because he belonged so much to us, there are many people that think of him as the guy next door that I know him. He was on my street. He was at my supermarket. He was, and so oftentimes that would happen where there might be a place that he would go and he would be treated just like one of the average people in the audience. I didn't like it. You didn't like it. But we know because we knew him and we knew how he felt being a part of the people and being with the people in a real way, not some phony, I'm your idol, I'm your, you know, one to look up to and all of that, none of that. And so, I mean, I recognize, maybe as you recognize now, that some saw him as the guy next door, the guy down the street, the guy we know already. And somehow they don't have to treat him in such a way. If I can quickly, let me tell you, we were in New York. And of course, the sidewalks and the streets were full. And the Secret Service was trying to keep people on the sidewalk and off the street. But they just filled the street. And one man was so excited, and he was, his body was almost contorted as he tried to jump out there and reach for Jesse Jackson. And the Secret Service pulled out the AK-47 and pointed at him. I said, please don't shoot him. He just loves Jesse Jackson, because they had never seen anything like that before. But I was with him. I saw it. I felt it. I knew what that man was feeling. And so it was an experience that I'll never forget. And many people who saw it will never forget. But that was our Jesse Jackson. And he, again, was not only national, but international. And I'm sure today there may be some talk about him going to Syria to rescue, I believe it's one of our soldiers
Yeah.
that he was on. Who was that, Roland?
Yeah, that was 1985.
Lieutenant Goodman.
Yeah,
Lieutenant Goodman.
yeah, it was Lieutenant Goodman, 1985. He brought a black delegation with him there, and got it done. And President Reagan had to receive him at the White House with Lieutenant Goodman and give Reverend Jackson his credit. And of course, he brought back folk from Cuba and from other countries as well. Congresswoman Clarke, my last one for you. You and Congresswoman Waters saw this up close. People really do not understand the sheer brilliance of this man. The ability to be able to recite facts and figures, the ability to connect public policy and the dots, who can take it from 30, 40 years ago to present day, understanding the voting rolls in this state, in that state, and others. And that's something else that I think people have to understand. Reverend Jackson wasn't just an orator, wasn't just a preacher, wasn't just a civil rights activist. He was one of the most brilliant political tacticians that we've ever seen.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was also a policy man. I think that because he was able to break down his lived experience into a way in which we could all connect. We could all live vicariously through what he was saying, because it connected to the way that we were living our lives. And the dreams and desires. I mean, the whole keep hope alive. It was not just a saying, it was a way of being. And with him are a lot of hopes. And he understood the power of that and did everything that he could to manifest for people that level of political power.
Yep.
That enables that. That enables that. And we're all just, I'm celebrating Reverend's life today.
That's right.
He lived to be 85 years old. And for all of my lifetime, this man had dedicated his life, literally, working up until the last minute. I know that he was telling his staff things that he wanted to see done.
Yeah.
And so I just I celebrate his life. I mourn with the family because I know what it is to take all of this in. I mean, my phone hasn't stopped ringing. The text messages and the chats haven't stopped. So I know they must be receiving a lot of incoming as well. And it's heavy. It's heavy for all of us. But I've chosen to uh, be in a space where I can just say how grateful I am that he lived and that he did such extraordinary things with his life that impacted globally, as Representative Maxine Waters has said, globally.
Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, we appreciate y'all joining us for this celebration of the life and legacy of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr.
Thank you so much for having us, Roland, and thank you so much for putting together this opportunity for us to have this discussion. And at some point in time, I'll be happy to talk with you about his economic intelligence. He started to work with the big businesses in this country long before diversity, equity, and inclusion to force them into
That's
doing
right.
contracts and hiring. And we need to have people know about what he did with that.
Not just that, also what happened in Silicon
That's
Valley.
right.
So we're going to be, trust me, we're going to be doing daily tributes leading up to his homegoing service. And so we'll be definitely talking about that stuff as well.
Well, thank you so very much. I'm so pleased you're able to do this. This is like no other station, no other TV station, no other anything can do what you're doing. And you do it because you know what the Black people and people who don't get the benefit of the real thing on some of the major medias, that you can do it for us. And I appreciate it so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thanks a lot. Folks, that's Congresswoman Yvette
All I
Clarke.
can say is ditto.
I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me.
Thank you very much. Folks, let's turn to somebody who knew him well.